There are moments in life when you realize the enemy isn't the world. It's your own undisciplined mind. I found myself in that exact place, overwhelmed with anxiety, torn between duty and desire, caught in the noise of everything. So I stopped. I gave myself 7 days, armed with the only philosophy that ever grounded me in reality, Stoicism. This wasn't about motivation. It was about survival. I needed a reset planner system to reclaim my focus, my strength and my mind. And that's exactly what I found. 6 habits. Ancient, powerful, ruthlessly clear. In just 7 days, they didn't just improve my life. They redefined it. This isn't a motivational speech. This is a blueprint to reclaim your time, your focus, your energy, and ultimately, yourself. 1. The first victory, mastering the morning transformation, begins at dawn. Not with a quote, not with coffee, but with command. Every morning, before the sun rises, I rise. No phone, no noise, no digital distractions. Just pure presence. The first 10 minutes of my day are spent in complete silence, repeating one question from Marcus Aurelius: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That question became the filter for every decision that followed. Before the world had a chance to invade my space, I had already won. While most people were still reacting, I had chosen clarity, discipline, and direction. Waking up isn't enough. You must arrive mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's the real alarm clock. 2. Replacing noise with order. Noir isn't just around you, it lives within you. So my second habit was a complete mental detox. I eliminated the clutter: emails, notifications, articles, opinions. I silenced everything. In its place, one page from meditations. One single principle every day. I didn't read to sound smart. I read to train, to realign my inner compass toward courage, reason, temperance, and justice. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That's exactly what modern life thrives on. Imagine suffering, disguised as information. By day 5, the fog in my mind started to lift. I wasn't overwhelmed. I wasn't distracted. I was still. 3. Physical discipline. No excuse. The body is the servant of the mind, but if you neglect it, it becomes the master. So I added controlled physical discomfort to each day. Cold water, fasting, intentional fatigue. Not to prove anything, but to regain control over my impulses. The Stoics weren't soft. They didn't chase luxury. They tested themselves daily. Because if you can't handle chosen discomfort, how will you survive? The real storms of life, after the first 3 habits, laid the foundation. The real test began facing myself, because the hardest battles aren't external. They're the ones we fight in silence, with our own patterns, excuses, and inner weakness. That week, I faced resistance, not just from the outside, but from within, and I overcame it not through inspiration, but through ritual, discipline, and repetition. For the time accountability practice each morning, I reminded myself, time is not promised. It's loaned. We live as if there are infinite tomorrows, but each day is a non-refundable withdrawal from the account of our life. So I started treating time like sacred currency. No more vague plans. No more waiting for the right moment. Every day, I ask myself, what am I doing with the time I've been given today? Is it worthy of the person I say I want to become? This wasn't just about productivity. It was about alignment, making sure my actions matched my values. Seneca warned, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And he was right. Within just 1 week, my decisions became sharper, my focus cleaner. I stopped trying to fill time and started honoring it. Because when you stop treating time as disposable, you stop treating yourself that way. 2. 5. The evening audit. Every night, I held a quiet tribunal with myself. No distractions, no noise, just one honest review. What did I do today that was worthy of respect? What needs correction? This wasn't guilt. It wasn't punishment. It was structure. The Stoics approached self-examination like a soldier studies the battlefield. Calmly, precisely, without emotion clouding judgment. and within days, the fog started to clear. I began to see what I'd been blind to, the small compromises, the quiet lies I told myself, the friction between who I was and who I wanted to become. The audit revealed my time thieves, scrolling instead of focusing, reacting instead of reasoning. It showed where my discipline cracked, where my values didn't yet govern my actions. But most importantly, it created alignment. I wasn't drifting anymore. I was tracking each night. I replaced fantasy with fact, self-deception with self-governance, illusion with insight. That single habit didn't just change my week, it recalibrated my direction in life. 6. Speaking less, acting more refinedly, I practiced voluntary silence. Not as avoidance, but as refinement. In every interaction I asked, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said now? Does it need to be said by me? Most of the time the answer was no. So I spoke less, and I truly listened. After practicing intentional silence, I realized something powerful. You don't need to speak louder to be heard. What you choose not to say when done wisely speaks volumes. I stopped broadcasting everything, and I started observing. I learned that restraint isn't passivity. It's strength in its most mature form. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we speak." That quote hit deeper with each passing day. By the end of the week, I wasn't just more mindful, I was more respected. Because stillness, it commands attention louder than noise ever could. You don't have to dominate a room to be powerful. You just have to show up grounded, calm, and aware of your energy. 6 habits. 1 week, a permanent shift. Not because I changed the world around me, but because I changed my relationship with my mind. Me timmy bodge, and my mortality world is chaotic. You can't control it, but you can control your preparation. And that's what Stoicism gives you, a disciplined daily framework for dignity in the midst of disorder. These habits, they're not for the weak. They're for the person who's done pretending, done performing, done drifting. They're for the one who's ready to return to themselves. If you try nothing else, try this 1 week. 6 habits. No compromise. Let the world stay noisy. You will be unshakable.